Christian Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Uncommon Courage, Defending Truth and Freedom While There Is Still Time, by Keisha Toni Russell. Narrated by Keisha Toni Russell. To my mom and sister, I miss you both. Always be ready to make your defense to anyone who demands from you an accounting for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 15 through 16. Freedom is a central principle of Christianity, and that principle thrives in a culture that embraces the freedom of religion. Keisha Toni Russell. Introduction. Testify. When a jury assesses a case, they must analyze the evidence and decide which side wins. A witness's testimony brings clarity to a case because they can provide a first-hand account. But testifying is not always easy. It's something most people must be forced to do. When the disciples told people about what they experienced with Jesus, it cost many of them their lives. But they were compelled to testify. As Christians, we are commanded to tell our testimony to the world. We are expected to proclaim who Christ is and how he has changed our lives. And it's not just about what we say. The way we live our lives reveals to others the strength and depth of our relationship with Christ, or lack thereof. Our behavior tells a story to non-believers about Christians, but it also has the power to edify, inform, and inspire other believers to persevere with Christ. I share my testimony to persuade the non-believer and strengthen the believer. Like most people who end up in a spiritual fight, I didn't pursue it. I was called. My journey began right after I graduated from undergraduate school and became an educator in Atlanta. I worked in a vocational college where I realized that many of the students were grossly unprepared for college. Many of them couldn't read or write at a high school level, and most of them were deficient in their math skills. Having obtained a strong public education myself, I wondered why our nation's system had failed these students. After a few years of working with college students, God sent me to teach elementary students, where he opened my eyes to some of the issues plaguing our public school system. After getting a master's degree in teaching from the University of Southern California, I joined Teach for America, an organization that seeks high-achieving college graduates to commit to expanding educational opportunities for low-income students by teaching for at least 2 years in a public school. Their goal is to close the academic achievement gap that persists between wealthy and mostly white students and poor minorities. I was assigned to teach elementary special education in Atlanta public schools. I started the school year by assessing my 4th and 5th grade special education students in reading and math. Their scores were devastating. All of the students were several grade levels behind. This isn't uncommon for special education students, but I was disheartened at the reality of their scores. I knew the students' futures would be severely limited if they couldn't even read. I also found out that the students possessed ingrained beliefs about education and themselves that negatively affected their self-esteem. Many of them grew up watching friends and relatives who did not take school seriously, and the students did not understand why they should give their education more of their attention. I was keenly aware that these students were in a predominantly Black part of Atlanta, with nearly all Black teachers and administrators, and those leaders had allowed these students to continue through school without getting the basic skills, not to mention that some of the students' lives at home were challenging for various reasons. The students' challenges couldn't be blamed directly on systemic racism or white supremacy because these students rarely encountered anyone white. However, it was clear there was a generational mindset producing at least some of the bad fruit I was seeing. I was successful at teaching the students how to read, and many of them passed the state tests for the first time in their lives, even though they were in 4th and 5th grade at the time. Later in the book, I talk about how I accomplished this, but this
Sample complete. Ready to continue?